Today marks 3 years since the Enyobeni Tavern tragedy that claimed the lives of 21 young people in Scenery Park. That's in the Eastern Cape. The victims' families are gathered at St. Peter's Methodist Church in that community to honor the memory of their children. Meanwhile, an inquest into the circumstances surrounding the tragedy continues at the East London Regional Court, sitting in Mdantsane. Watching developments for us is SABC News reporter Abongile Jantjies, who joins us from this Methodist church in Scenery Park. And Abongile, 3 years on, it's incredible just how many questions the families are still grappling with, despite all that's been said about getting to the bottom of what led to these deaths.
Absolutely, and 3 years on, the parents are still wanting those answers. They are still seeking for those answers, and that's why they even pushed for that inquest, which is underway in the East London Regional Court, sitting in Mdantsane, where it is also expected to resume on Monday, this coming Monday, where they'll be there again. But today, it's to honor those fallen, their children who had fallen at Enyobeni Tavern on the 26th of June. And really, it remains sad. Engaging with the parents, engaging with the families. Preparations are underway here, and any moment from now, the proceedings will begin, and it will be followed by a candlelight ceremony. If my colleague could show you that some of them have survived, mostly the parents and some of the survivors of the Enyobeni tragedy. And as we await those preparations to unfold, we are still here at Scenery Park, and they are also planning to also visit the site where at Enyobeni Tavern, you recall that there were calls for it to be demolished by the Buffalo City Metro. So a lot has happened, even though that demolition process hasn't occurred yet, but a lot has happened. And the parents are saying they'll only rest and find closure to this tragedy once they have uncovered the entire truth as to what happened to their family members, to their children. And really, it's quite sad. Engaging them, some of them were saying, leading up to this day, it really needs quite a lot of effort to get over this day. Even it brings back all the pain and memories. We were hoping to speak to one of the affected parents, but they are still busy with the preparations. And as this day unfolds, we shall engage with them. And they have promised to give us that much needed interview just to hear from their side on what this day means to them. I can tell you now, when I see the program, it's quite a long one dedicated to those young people who lost their lives, and it will be ending in that candlelight ceremony which I mentioned earlier on. So there's a lot expected yet to happen, and a lot of people are expected, even though some parents of the deceased couldn't make it due to work commitments, and some of them were saying that due to the pain that this day brings, they can't make it. But really, they've set up a foundation, and that foundation is assisting them with some of the things they need closure and clarity on. And they are saying that they'll keep on agitating the authorities to ensure that the truth eventually comes out of what happened on that fateful night. I can tell you, with regards to the inquest that is underway in the East London Regional Court, both of the owners have testified, Siakangela Ndevu and his wife Vuyokazi. And when the matter resumes, we are expecting more developments which shall draw to the conclusion of that inquest. So we are edging closer to the closure of that inquest, and then it can be determined whether the owner and his partner Vuyokazi can be criminally held liable for the deaths of these young people who perished at their establishment.
Abongile, remind us what happened to that establishment where we told this tragedy took place. Right, it seems Abongile Jantjies is not able to hear us. We'll certainly keep a close eye on the situation. Abongile, if you are able to hear me now, I was just trying to establish whether you can help remind our viewers what happened to that establishment in Scenery Park where this tragedy took place 3 years ago.
Well, it's around 4 to 5 a.m. in the morning during that year, we received calls that we should be rushing at Scenery Park, where police had already made their way there, where we found Ayanda had been cordoned off. It was as if it's a crime scene, where it was really unclear during those moments. And you recall that it was in winter and it was really quite dark, but as things happened, we found people lying down there. It was really unclear, and I can tell you that it was quite packed with the parents happening. I have to leave it there for now, Ayanda, as the proceedings are about to commence, but we shall bring you more shortly.
Fair enough. Okay, Abongile Jantjies is live to us from the St. Peter's Methodist Church in Scenery Park, where the families of those 21 young people are marking 3 years since the Enyobeni tragedy. It's incredible, like I mentioned earlier, that, even at the stage, despite what's been said, both in public and in private, these families, mostly the parents, are still agonizing over the answers that they're desperate for around what happened on this day 3 years ago. We'll touch base with Abongile Jantjies throughout the course of the day.